using an 8mm socket, or you can use a flathead screwdriver. You want to go ahead and start disconnecting the clamps and hoses to remove the intake unit here. So we'll start by loosening these. Then the engine cover, just kind of pop that up. And you want to go ahead and get to this hose clamp right here and loosen that. Now using a 10mm socket, we want to go ahead and remove this bolt right here. And take that bolt out and set that aside. We're going to go ahead and pull the intake tube off of the air box here. That's loose. I'm going to go ahead and pull up on this. I'm going to go ahead and lift up. Separate this unit. Okay, now I'll go ahead and pull up on the engine cover and put that aside. Using a 10mm wrench, we're going to go ahead and loosen that nut and remove the negative terminal on the battery. All right, next you want to go ahead and grab this tube right here and pop that off and set that aside. Now what we're going to want to do is remove the ignition wires from the ignition coil and the spark plug. This here is marked for cylinder 1, 2, 3, and 4. You can tape them, or you can just zip tie them together and put them aside, as long as you know that they go to the correct location. Go ahead and just twist that, pop that off, and then pull that, set it aside. Repeat the same for the next 3. Once these are all disconnected, you can collect all these and just swing them over to the passenger side. We're going to start by removing the electrical connector on the front mounted coil pack. Just set that aside. Now there's 2 10mm bolts for the ignition coil. There's one on the top here, one on the bottom. We'll go ahead and start with the top one. Loosen that one. And on the bottom one, we're going to go ahead and use a wrench just because of the clearance. So pop that loose there. All right. Now you're not going to be able to remove the bolts completely. They will come out to a certain point. I'm going to go ahead and get that bottom one unthreaded out. Grab the coil, pull it up and out. You know, when you install the ignition coil, I want to make sure there's a little bit of dielectric grease on the inside. Press that boot down inside. And then go ahead and get your bolt started. Now you just want to go ahead and snug down these 2 bolts. The coil bolts themselves should be torqued to 105 inch-pounds. I'm going to do that for the bottom one as well. So now let's go ahead and repeat all these same steps for the remaining components. Now I'm going to go ahead and reconnect all of our coils. Line that up. Press those on. Repeat for all 4 using your lock tabs. And then we're going to come back, and this is where labeling cylinders may be helpful to you. Press this down inside, and then reconnect the coil wire, and repeat this for all cylinders. And then go ahead and hook up this port right here. All right, well, installing the air box here, there's a metal post right here that's going to insert into the bottom part here. And then we also have a connector to go to one of the intake temp sensors right here. So I want to go ahead and get this connected. We'll line up that connector, snap that on, and then we're going to go ahead and try lining up the bottom. While you're doing this, we also want to pay attention to the portion here, to the air box and a filter. So you have 3 different things that you're trying to do to get lined up. Sometimes I just run a pick on the inside here just to get these little nubs around and get that popped on. Now you have a 10mm bolt that goes in the back side. right here. I want to get that started by hand. Snug that down. Using your 8mm, we're going to go ahead and tighten up the hose clamp here. I'm going to go ahead and snug up the two of these. And take the engine cover, slide that back in underneath. Line that up and press it down on top of the mounting studs.